guys, welcome back. So last Friday I was chit-chatting in my normal Friday video, like I do, waxing poetic about anything on my mind at the time. And I said something to the effect of, would you guys want me to do a roundup of my favorite best performing summer foundations? And you all were like, yes! Because honestly, that is what people are messaging me about right now. On Instagram, comments, what have you. Everybody wants to know what is my favorite, what is the best performing of all, because I do a lot of foundation wear tests. What's the best one for summer? And of course, you can't just give somebody one. Makeup is super personal, and so I feel like there are different conditions to take into consideration when recommending a foundation for hot weather. I am going to round up today. It's not going to be in any particular order. It's just going to be depending on the needs that I think that you might have or what you expect out of a foundation. I'm going to round up the best and the worst. And I'll have also just a handful of honorable mentions that I think are going to help your makeup stay no matter what makeup you decide to use. So guys, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into this roundup. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start with one bad, and then I will give you kind of a good alternative for it, and hopefully that will satisfy the needs of anything that you guys might be curious about. Okay, so this is one of the worst foundations that I would ever have used in hot weather. It just absolutely broke up on me so badly. This is the Il Makiage Woke Up Like This foundation. I did do a wear test on this, and it absolutely betrayed me. It just really broke up, went all over the place, didn't really apply all that beautifully to begin with, and it was outrageously expensive, so I would definitely not recommend this guy if you are looking for a full coverage foundation for summertime. You guys, you know what I'm gonna say. It is the Luscious Cosmetics Camera Stick. This bad boy I think is $23, and you get a ton of product, and it is gorgeous. I have it on my face right now. If you guys watched my video on Monday, you can see it going on. I also did a full review on this. I'm gonna link all of the wear tests for any of these that I've done a wear test on below so that you guys can go watch them in depth. But this is one of the best. I mean, it is basically, it's a Pakistani company, Luscious Cosmetics is, and so it is built for high humidity, high heat, just endurance makeup. This is event makeup for when you don't know what your day is going to look like. This will stand up to it. It's gorgeous. And I do recommend using it with their camera powder, but you can use it with any powder. It's okay. Their camera powder just is really good, and it's not very expensive. All right, another one that I would totally pass on, guys. This is the Jouer Essential High Coverage Cream Foundation. It's got hyaluronic acid in it. It is an oil-free matte foundation, and honestly, I had so many hopes for this. It was a requested video from one of you guys asking me to try this with a little brush that comes with it. The brush was very disappointing. This was pretty disappointing too. I don't think that this is a bad foundation. It is just not a summertime foundation. It just did that really uncomfortable kind of creep off my face thing way too early in the day, and I felt like it looked okay on camera, but if you got up close, it was just really uncomfortable. It was like a baby. It needed care all day long. I had to be constantly watching it because it moved around so much. It was just a very frustrating foundation. Even though I used one of my favorite primers with it, I would not recommend this, at least not for summertime, and definitely, I mean, I have pretty dry skin, so definitely not for oily skin. And as an alternative, if you are looking for a high coverage foundation, you guys, these are maybe the best foundations for hot weather. I mean, everyday foundations. I think that the Luscious Cosmetics, fantastic for an event. It's really like bulletproof, you know? But I don't necessarily think it's an everyday foundation. These are everyday foundations. So these are the It Cosmetics Bye Bye Foundation and the Your Skin But Better CC+. The CC+ is a little bit less coverage, and it's not going to leave you as snatched. The Bye Bye Foundation is what's called a full coverage moisturizer, which doesn't really make sense in your head, right? This is what I would call an everyday full coverage. I have used both of these now at length. I did do a wear test where I wore one on one side, one on the other, and I didn't really, the jury was out. I definitely found a purpose for each of these, but this one has remained my favorite over time, the Bye Bye Foundation. And the reason is that it has this technology built into it. The It Cosmetics consultant person was telling me about this at Ulta. It says clinically tested, hydrating, and anti-aging with 3D Skin Flex. 3D Skin Flex is some kind of stabilizer emulsifier ingredient in here that makes the makeup flex with your face, even though it's full coverage, even though you're out in the elements, this is going to not betray you. It is going to give you this beautiful finish. It's going to make all of your makeup go on so beautifully on top, and it is going to continue to flex with your face over the course of the day. That is the beauty of it. When I take pictures of myself on Instagram, on my Instagram stories or anything, anytime I'm wearing this, I just get inundated with messages of people being like, what foundation is that? It's this. It is this. My only reservation here is that their shade range leaves a little bit to be desired. This is slightly too dark for me when I'm not self-tanned. Then their next lightest shade is a little too pink for me. And then their next lightest shade is just way too light. And so I probably should buy the very lightest shade and mix it with this one to kind of make a happy medium for myself. And I probably will at some point. But right now I tend to just wear this when I have a self-tan. But it will pull pretty stinking dark on me without a self-tan, because right now I don't have any kind of tan going on. So this is an absolutely beautiful foundation, but definitely go to Ulta. Try it on, see what works for you. It is worth it. If you have to buy two and mix them together, it actually is worth it, but just understand that their shade range, I think that they're going to be releasing some more shades in the fall, if I remember correctly, but right now their shade range does leave a little bit to be desired. Working our way down in coverage, I have two that I'm going to kind of talk about at the same time, and I'm going to do the same thing with the Good, because these are so similar, and they are both so similarly disappointing. This is the foundation from The Ordinary. This is the coverage foundation. I'm gonna be honest, you guys, I can't tell a difference between the coverage foundation and the serum foundation. They're both pretty disappointing and kind of matte and not all that great. They are fine in the winter. They do okay. You have to babysit them, but as soon as summer comes around, this is going to betray you, and so will this. This is the Color Pop, what do they call this? The No Filter Foundation. It just sits on top of the skin. It gets really weird and an odd consistency. It's kind of like powdery fluffy, and then it breaks up and settles into lines and just looks generally terrible. You don't even have to touch your face, and either of these will move around on their own. Like I said, you have to babysit them because they're just gonna try and run away from you. So I don't like these, either one, and they're both very inexpensive. So for that level of performance, I would absolutely recommend one of these two. They are not the same price point. This is the True Match Lumi from L'Oreal. I haven't used this on camera in a long time because it's not cruelty free. I always say this, I don't claim to be fully cruelty free, but I'm not gonna go out of my way to promote a product that isn't cruelty free unless I think that it's amazing. I used to use this on my channel all the time, and it is a beautiful product. It is absolutely gorgeous. It does come in a cushion. Cushions freak me out. They are just bacteria farms, and I'm just not interested, but this comes in a pump, and it is awesome. It is 12 bucks, I think, at Target. I really, really like it. If you want to have a little bit more skincare ingredients and really treat yourself, the Cosmetic is a similar level of coverage. This is the Cosmetic Aqua Foundation. This is the reformulation, and I really, really love this product, but these are so freaking similar. $12, $67. I have used both of them, but this is the one that I will continue to use because it is cruelty free. It's newer. That one is probably expired by now. And also, this is just, it's got a lot of skincare ingredients. It's very kind to your skin. It's very, very good. It works really well with my skin, and I just really like it. So understand that, you know, if this is the level of coverage that you're going for, you can accomplish that with either of these, and they're actually going to stand up against the humidity and the heat all day. I will say that before settling into lines, the Cosmetic is going to outperform the L'Oreal. There are just certain things that you get what you pay for. If you are willing to, you know, carry around a little bit of powder for, you know, your 11s like I have, then this works just fine. It's just a matter of, you know, what you're willing to put up with and how much money you're willing to spend. Another freaking terrible foundation that I would never recommend anybody buys is the Phyto Pigments Flawless Serum Foundation from Juice Beauty. This is intended to be a Gwyneth Paltrow natural kind of thing. It is watercolor freaky nonsense, and I hate it. It's this weird liquidy, odd, can't figure out what it is. As far as actually surviving moisture in your environment, not at all. It is literally watercolor. It will, if you sweat, if you think about water, it will reconstitute and run off your face. Do not waste your money on this. Do not waste your time on this. If you love this foundation, I'm so sorry, but I tried it. I hate it. I've shaken it a million times. I still hate it. It disappoints me every single time. And if you are looking for a really beautiful, natural looking coverage situation, guys, either one of these. They're very different. So we'll start with this. This is the Wonder Beauty Flash Focus Hydrating Foundation Stick. Abso-freaking-lutely gorgeous. I did a wear test on this last week, and it is coconut oil based, and it just blends like a dream. It is unbelievably beautiful. It is $40 for this stick. Comes in some really pretty packaging. It has some extra skincare in it, and it's just absolutely gorgeous, and it does really wear all day. It does a really beautiful job of, instead of settling into lines, it just kind of backs away from them, just kind of stays flexible. I think that that's kind of the key to a really good summer foundation, is that even if it is a matte finish foundation, or even if it is a full coverage foundation, that it stays somewhat flexible, which is a little counterintuitive, I think, to what we normally expect when we're looking for a summer foundation. We always think we need it to be a very dry formula because we are going to be making a lot of moisture with our bodies, and we are also going to be interacting with a lot of moisture in the air, and so we need to overcompensate by dry, like a very matte formula. All of these bad foundations dry to a powder finish. That, I think, is the biggest hang up for me when it comes to a summer foundation, is that it actually needs to have that flexibility and a skin finish. That's going to be the kind of thing that, even if it wears off over the course of the day, it's not going to make you look like an idiot, because anything that's matte, if it's wearing off over the course of the day, you're going to see your skin through it, and your skin is not matte, and you're going to end up with this very harsh contrast between where your makeup is betraying you and where your skin is showing through. That's why I advocate, even when we're talking about these, yes, they dry down. They stay put, but they're still going to have a very skin-like texture to them. You're not going to have that kind of embarrassing, my face is falling off kind of appearance. The final, I mean, I guess I could call this an honorable mention, is the Glossier Perfecting Skin Tint. This is a reformulation that Glossier just put out, and I really, really like it. I think it's really beautiful for summer, but it is definitely not, I wouldn't even call it a foundation. It is just like they call it, a skin tint. A lot of people really, really love it. It's great for all ages because it doesn't settle into lines. It doesn't have a ton of pigment to it, but it does give you this really beautiful model dewy finish to your skin. And you can put this on and not powder it. I will still use the powder on top of it a lot of times, but you can get away with just not powdering this. Couple of honorable mentions here, guys. First of all, my motto in life is stay hydrated, wear SPF. So if you want to stay looking young, this is the Glossier Invisible Shield Daily Sunscreen. They recently, not that recently, but a few months ago, they lowered the price on this bad boy. I think it's only like $24. Not bad at all. I wear it every single day. Also, when it comes to making your stuff stay put, this has become a godsend for me. This is the Tatcha, the Silk Canvas Primer, and she is not a cheap, y'all, but I've been using it for months, and I just have, you know, a little divot here. I think that it is a real game changer. It makes a huge difference in the lasting power of my makeup, any makeup that I wear, and the best part is this kind of less is more. The less of this that you use and just kind of put a very thin layer, the less your makeup is going to move around. If you put too much of anything on your face, it's going to make your makeup move around once you get out into the elements. So be very conservative with a product like this, and you will see some amazing results from it. I also advocate for a good finishing spray. This is the Scandinavia. One of you guys told me this recently. So refreshing. One of you guys told me this recently, that this is basically the same company that does Urban Decay's. So a Scandinavia setting spray is the same as an Urban Decay setting spray, essentially. I like this because it actually dries pretty darn quick, and it does a really good job of setting my makeup. I'm not a scientist, but these are the things that have worked for me because I live in Austin, Texas. If I haven't mentioned that, it is 100 and something degrees here for, you know, 5 months out of the year. Don't move here. I really do put these products to the test every single day by just existing. Lately, I will be honest, these have been my top products. The Wonder Beauty and the Glossier have been my tip top right now because it is so hot and my skin is actually really good right now, and so I don't need a ton of coverage. So these have been my actual authentic, like, wear them all the time holy grails lately, but all of these foundations that I've shown in my good pile have a place in my routine. I'm going to wear the Luscious at my wedding. I just wanted to give you guys a full roundup. If you don't want to go and watch every single one of my videos that I put out recently, I will go ahead and link all of these wear tests because I have done a wear test for all of these. And I will link those below down in the description so that you guys can see any of them in depth if you want. That has always been my intention with my channel, is to have kind of an encyclopedia of reference for you guys so that you can see how these things wear, at least on my humble experience. So guys, if you appreciated this, give it a thumbs up. If you have any more questions about foundations or any that you want me to try, just hit me down below in the comments. I will be happy to try anything. Most of these were requests from you guys, so that's really awesome anyway. If you want to keep hanging out with me on this channel, hit the button down below and subscribe. I would love it if you did. Thank you guys so much for watching and for requesting this video. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I love you, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!